want to talk about popcorn. Why popcorn? Well, years ago, if I can, let's see, what is it, 2024? I would say probably 7 years ago, I ran across this thing because I was always like, I liked popcorn somewhat. I wasn't a very huge popcorn guy, but I know back in the day when I was younger, I liked the theater popcorn, the popcorn in the theaters, movie theaters, because it was different than it is nowadays. And it was different than the stuff we used to have at home, that my parents would make or grandparents or whatever. It just tasted different. No matter if you use an air popper, no matter if they did it on the stove, no matter how they popped it, it was just not the same, not as good, not nearly as good. And it seemed like the stuff in the movie theaters when I was younger would last longer. So like the next day it was like good. But as you might know, if you pop an air popper nowadays, or you do oil and the other things, your vegetable oil, that kind of stuff, canola oil, your common oils that are used, the cheap stuff, for the popcorn the next day, or even 6 hours later, it starts to get soggy and it doesn't taste good. It starts to taste stale. And so I just couldn't figure that out. Well, like I said, maybe it was 7 years ago or so, I ran across this article, I read it, and I started looking into stuff, and I started hearing, right now and there, I hear someone mention it, about movie theater popcorn, how it used to be, and that kind of stuff, and there was a secret to it. And so anyways, long story short, I found out, well, it was because it was coconut oil they used to pop the popcorn. And that was it. And it's like, really? So anyways, fast forward, maybe a few years after that, so we're talking, 17 years ago. Sorry, not 7 or 8 years ago, 17 years ago or 18 years ago. So probably 15 years ago, we got an old-fashioned popcorn maker, is what it was called, I believe. And we got some coconut oil, and then we started using your standard popcorn in it, whether it was over Reibach or whatever, popcorn kernels. And it was like, wow, it was really good. It was really different. And this was a time that both our kids were in wrestling, and every weekend we're going to tournaments, that kind of deal. And you always pack your own snacks, bring your own snacks. So then we're like, well, we're going to pop popcorn the night before, and we're going to bring that the next day. So we have that, and hopefully it will still taste decent, because we had no idea. And it was great. It was almost as good as it just got done being popped, it was news to me. It was like, wow. So then we started doing that on purpose, and we would do it, and the stuff would last. We could have it last. Still to this day, you pop it, it will last. And as long as you're in a bowl or airtight bowl or baggie or whatever, it will last well into a week or so, and it still tastes the same, almost identical as to when it just got done being popped. And it's full. Nothing's different from it, and it's great. And it's just using coconut oil and butter. Not butter, coconut oil and salt. And if you want to butter it, well, then you're going to start affecting it lasting. So we don't butter it all. We had coconut butter on it, and yes, it's a mildly acquired taste, but it's not much at all. It's pretty amazing. So anyways, on that note, I started looking into coconut oil and why isn't it used and why don't they use it anymore and that kind of stuff. And I found out, well, it was cost effective for them to get rid of it, because it would cost so much more for the coconut oil than just going out and buying your cheap oils that they could do the popcorn in at the movie theaters. So they get rid of that, and the cheap route, that kind of stuff, like most businesses would do, and then their quality just went down hugely. Now nowadays, if we go to a movie theater, and maybe once a year, we will go to a movie theater. Like we don't watch movies at all. Maybe a full year, maybe 4 or 5 movies total the entire year, and not. We're talking if you're seeing it, streaming, or you're seeing it on DVD, or you went to the theater. That's about what it is. So not much of that anymore. But anyways, you go to a movie theater. Last time I tried popcorn from the movie theater was probably a year or two ago, and it was horrible, horrendous. It tastes worse than the stuff I remember back in the day that I didn't like as much as the movie theaters used to be. But anyways, that's a whole nother side subject. So anyways, that can be want to look into coconut oil and what is it about, and why is it so different and that kind of stuff. So, what is the deal with coconut oil? Well, there's this whole thing of because saturated fats and that kind of stuff. Your pharma line of health experts, your pharma line of doctors, your pharma line of your Rockefeller medicine people, your Flexner medicine people will say, well, a lot of saturated fat, it's not good for you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Those are the same people who are telling you you need these shots, same people are telling you you need to put on this sunblock when you go out in the sun, that poison they call sunblock, a cancer-causing thing. The same people that tell you you got to do that, and the same people that tell you that coconut oil is bad, for the most part. Not all, but for the most part, that's where it is. Well, you start looking into, well, coconut oil is really healthy for you. It's really healthy for you. I just want to go over a few things that are beneficial. What I got, maybe 10, here 12 or so. And then you can do what you want to do. I'm just getting this information out there. So, health benefits of coconut oil. Help reduce symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. And I remember reading about this maybe 12 years ago or so, that people suffering from Alzheimer's disease, some families swore that as long as they got optimal amounts of coconut oil in their loved ones, that it reversed their Alzheimer's. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this happened. I'm just going through what I've read before and talking to other people. But also, if you read about it, they say there's anecdotal evidence, and so people say that, yeah, this is what happens. It really helps with Alzheimer's. Immune system boost. Antibacterial, it's antifungal, it's antiviral, if you believe in viruses. I don't believe in that whatsoever. But it has a lot of good immune support to it. It aids in prevention of heart disease and high blood pressure. So it aids in the prevention of heart disease and high blood pressure, prevention of high blood pressure. So we got treats UTIs and kidney infections and protects the liver, because your liver needs to be protected. It's bombarded with all these things all the time. The stuff they spray in the sky, stuff that's in our food, that kind of stuff, you know the drill. Reduces inflammation and arthritis. That thing that doctors will say you need to take this medication, these drugs for, because it's arthritis. Well, arthritis is just soreness of your joints. Sore joints. That's all it is. Caused by inflammation, which is because of dietary or lack of exercise or lack of beneficial things you're not consuming that you should be. Cancer prevention and treatment. Supports memory and brain function. It encourages the burning of fat. Improves energy and endurance. Boosts skin health, so it helps with skin appearance, skin elasticity, that kind of stuff. It protects and strengthens your hair. It helps with type 2 diabetes. And yes, type 2 diabetes is that's just surrounds your sugars and what you're eating and how you're eating health-wise. And this helps with that. Improves skin issues, like I talked about there, but also improves skin issues with burns, eczema, dandruff, dermatitis, psoriasis, that kind of stuff. It really helps with that. And my last one here is helps prevent gum disease and tooth decay. Now, this is not the entire list. This is just a sampling of some of the stuff I've read about and learned over the years. And I'm 100% behind them all, for the most part. But, like I said, I'm not a spokesperson for coconut oil, and I'm not a spokesperson for pharma. Call the doctor who wears what you know. But anyways, as always, I want to thank you for watching this. If you like this, like, share, subscribe, and stay vigilant. Protect yourself.